Tom Brady had another productive day. A video emerged. This apparently comes from an in-house documentary that the Buccaneers did on their 2021 season. And there was an interesting clip about Tom Brady and how he always blocks out the noise, except, of course, when he doesn't. Have a look.
The Buccaneers, one of the things they had on their side last year was luck. They just got very fortunate. They were very healthy going down the stretch and into the playoffs. Now here we are a year later, and it looks like the opposite.
I'm wondering how much Leftwich is going to have to change the identity of this offense.
To stick with Brady for a second, he has this particular game once a year. You just can kind of see he's mentally figured out it's not going to happen for me today.
And at this point, he's been so successful at everything he's done. Is he becoming a bad sport?
I just look at the TV and I go like this. You guys, you TV. You block out the noise because none of it matters. What we do is get back to what we did all year. Still not perfect, but football's not a game of perfect. I mean, we always expect to be at our best. We had a tough loss. You ignore what they think and you just move on, man. You fight for another day.
Now, look, if I'm TV, I say, what did I do? Well, I'm just the messenger. He says, F you, TV. I'm just a TV. I'm just a TV. I'm going to broadcast whatever channel you put me on. If it's Romper Room, you're going to see Romper Room. If it's one of the shows that you want to block out the noise, then that's what you're going to see. And this just underscores what we've talked about many times over the years, Chris. They act like they ignore us, and they don't. They don't want to give us the satisfaction. So they say they block out the noise and they don't listen. And that is bullcrap. They do listen. They're obsessed. It's human nature. What are people saying about me? If only I could know what they were saying about me. Oh, wait, there's a way for me to know what they're saying about me. It's called TV, radio, internet, podcasts. I can find out what they're saying about me. These guys all have big egos. They're the guys who are in the mirror making sure their mustache still looks tight after doing a set of curls. Yeah, they want to know what people say. They want to reserve the right to act like they don't. But you know damn well they do, Chris.
100%. It's really this day and age kind of hard to avoid altogether. You can't just avoid it completely. You really can't. I mean, like a guy like Brady, he definitely listens to the noise. We've seen that. Whether the way he reacts to somebody on the field or, hey, I believe it was last year or the year before, I made his Instagram one of his videos about, like, people talking, noise about him. And I was on there like, he's not the best quarterback in football anymore. So he does use it for motivation. Does it go, like, above and beyond to distract? I think that's where he goes. There's a fine line of acknowledging what's being said out there. All right, I will say that. And then maybe using it as a little fuel, but not carrying it around all the time, because that's when it can get detrimental. So I do think there is a little bit of both that you can have here as a quarterback, but to just say totally blocked out, like that's I guess not the right phrase that I would use.
I remember in 2007 when the Patriots were undefeated and the Steelers were coming to town in December, and Anthony Smith, then of the Steelers, made the mistake of chirping about the Steelers potentially beating the Patriots, whatever it was that he said. And what happened? After one of the touchdowns, Brady runs down there and gets in his face. So, and look, to the extent, especially if you are maniacal about winning, to the extent that you can find anything that will get your fire going or intensify that inferno, you use it. I would imagine that the infrastructure in the Patriots organization was there to make sure that Tom Brady was aware of what Anthony Smith said. You've said many times before they thought Wes Welker played better when he was pissed off, so they'd look for ways to piss him off, find anything that anyone said about him to get him pissed off.
That was a chippy
You know how to stoke those fires. It's part of coaching.
Yes,
it's part of coaching. It's not just getting in their face and saying, do a better job, you suck. It's finding ways to press their buttons and get them going.
100%.
And all that noise. So I just think it's funny especially since Tom Brady is going to be making $35 million a year, $37.5 million a year. What is
now
it?
doing
yeah,
this,
$37.5 million a year to be part of the noise. For him to act like he ignores the noise. I always think it's funny when someone tries to do that because it's predictable and it's a lie.
It is.
You have to be not human. You have to be not human to truly avoid and ignore the things that are being said.
Well, that's where I kind of like Brady in the fact that he does listen to the noise a little bit. He is, has a clue about what's going on in society. I like that about Tom Brady. I like his chippiness, too. I love the double middle finger at the TV and saying that.
You almost did it.
I
You
know.
almost
Well,
did it.
but it is. And you're right. I mean, hey, coaches, if they're smart, they play that angle a little bit. Really, in a lot of good locker rooms, like probably that 2007 Patriots locker room, probably didn't even worry. Belichick probably didn't even have to do it, because they had some guys in there that were edgy and chippy anyways, so they'll just bring it to the locker room by themselves and start saying what whoever's saying in there. So I respect that about Brady. I really do. But I will say this. There's a part, though, like I was saying, and I hope I made sense with it, where I think Brady has found the fine line to kind of what you were saying of, okay, use it as motivation, use it as fire, but when it comes time to now I'm getting ready to go out on the field, he can block it out and now focus on what he's got to do. Like, oh, here's the checks, here's the plays. Okay, I got to tell this guy on this play and remind this guy of that. And that's where I think he's trying to convey that. So, but yeah, I don't think blocking it out's the right phrase. Blocking it out, to me, is scary. When I hear a guy that's too blocked out, I think of like Carson Wentz in Philadelphia a few years ago. Remember we had that conversation? He was clueless. He didn't even know like Doc Rivers was signed by the 76ers. And it's like, what? Yeah, you're too blocked out, Carson Wentz. You got to be, in the fabric of the city a little bit and know what's going on. And that's where I think Brady has found the fine line or the right approach there.
And I think that the sweet spot would go something like this. You seek that out for motivation during the mundane aspects of the week.
Right.
The workouts, the meetings,
right,
the film study,
sure,
the extra time with your iPad or your tablet, studying the game plan, all the stuff that isn't playing the game, that doesn't naturally have the adrenaline. So you use the criticism then to get you locked in and focused and do everything you're supposed to do. Stay properly hydrated, get enough sleep, do all that. Got to do all the things I need to do. I'm pissed off. I'm going to do all the things I need to do. And then you set it aside Friday or Saturday and you focus on the task at hand. I think that's a way to get the best of both
that's
worlds.
What I think
where
you're right.
You let it stoke your fire,
right,
and then you set it aside so it doesn't make you so emotional and so obsessed that it becomes a problem. Now, we say that, but what happened during that game against the Steelers in 2007? He got in Anthony Smith's face. He didn't forget about it once the game was in hand. By the way, I don't know why I stopped you from doing the double-barreled middle fingers. We have been.
I know.
If you haven't noticed, this isn't Romper Room, folks. And I was on with Dan Patrick yesterday because he's on after us here on Peacock.
Yeah.
But his radio show is also on 275 plus over-the-air station. So he's FCC regulated. He can't get away with that. And we were joking about it. And I said, we're letting these things fly and nobody's saying anything to us. So we're just going to keep doing it. And he said that when he used to do Sports Center with Keith Olbermann, they would let a few fly from time to time just to see if the bosses were paying attention, and they ultimately came to the conclusion that the bosses weren't watching, so they'd say whatever the hell they wanted to say. So
I can remember them, dancing that fine line, those two, a little bit. I do. That was the two best Sports Center anchors ever, so that was amazing. But, yeah, sorry, I didn't keep going.
No, but that's just the point. I mean, I don't know why I stopped you from doing the double barrel middle finger. I mean, let's. I guess we test this until we get. I kind of expect we dropped 3 S-bombs yesterday. I kind of expected to hear something.
I know.
What's the over-under?
I know.
Before we do we just have to come out and go S-bomb over and over and over again? Is that when we're going to? I don't know. I don't want to find out.
It's like my podcast, I let them fly everywhere, and poor Kristen, who's in the back room right now, has to, manage it a little bit when we, post it or whatever. She's probably talking to us right now like, would these two shut up and stop, don't swear, because we probably make her life a little bit more complicated.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.